Welcome to the session on Principles of Management and Functions of Management. Henry Fayol, the father of classical schools of management, developed 14 principles of management. They are division of work, authority, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to the general interest, remuneration, centralization, Scalar Chain, order, equity, stability of tenure or personal, initiative, esprit de corps. Now let us have brief description of each of the above principles. First one, division of work. This principle says to analyze all the works that are to be carried out for the attainment of our objective. On the basis of the job analysis made, we can have a list of the work that is to be carried out. Then these works can be subdivided up to any level till we get one unit work. After that, a grouping of works is done on the basis of similarity, repetition or quantity of works. It will result into a number of units of work which together results in a number of sections and a number of sections into a division. In library, we have different units of works on documents, staff, users, machines and other materials. The units of works on documents can be brought under a number of sections like acquisition section, technical section, etc. All these sections will be the part of division of collection development. Second one, authority. Authority can be either statutory or personal. Statutory authority belongs to a person due to his position. Personal authority is achieved due to the qualities of leadership. Possession of authority means responsibility for actions. Actual work in the library may be done by different persons, but the ultimate responsibilities lies with the chief librarian for all that goes on. He can delegate authority for a certain job. If the same is misused, then it can be withdrawn. An individual should be given authority equal to his responsibility. In case a person is given responsibility for a given job, then he should also be delegated authority to take necessary action to make it possible to fulfill the job successfully. Discipline. This principle says that there should be necessary rules and regulations that may lead the employees in the proper direction. The set of rules and directions will avoid the clashes between the employees on different aspects like privileges, benefits, duties, etc. In libraries, we can see many rules for staff on service aspects like working hours, dealing of users, dealing of documents, etc. Next one, unity of command. This principle says to decide the source from where each unit workers have to receive the orders. Usually, it will be the section head under which the units of work come. If the section head is not available, the next source will be the division head. Then the last will be the top manager of chief librarian in the case of libraries. All the orders from the librarian should be sent through the concerned divisions and sections. Otherwise, a unit worker may be compelled to obey the orders of different superiors. Unity of direction. This principle indicates that there should be one person for doing one work. It will result into specialization of work, saving of time, material, labor, etc. required for doing the particular work. If a person is allotted with more than work, he can't concentrate and master in any of these works and will not bring any savings. Next, subordination of individual interest to the general interest. According to this principle, individual interest must be subordinated for the sake of common good. This primary concern of an employee should be the growth and development of the organization. Head of the order section should not be permitted to take long leave during the last days of the financial years if funds remain to be spent and bills have to be passed before the end of the financial year. Remuneration. This principle is one of the important principles which indicates the stability of labor force inside an organization. It insists the manager to provide right compensation to the right person who is doing the right work if the reward is insufficient or not compensating with the work. Then the employee will select other organization where that is available. The change employees doing in a particular work will affect the specialization and cost of doing the work. Next, centralization. Centralization of administration may be carried out in varying degrees depending upon the local situation. Anything that increases the importance of the role of a subordinate should be decentralized. On the other hand, anything that decreases the importance of the role of subordinate should be centralized. In the case of a university library system, book selection should be highly decentralized because heads of the departments and librarians of department libraries are more aware of the fields of specializations of students and research scholars. But ordering should be centralized so that there is no duplication of documents. Scalar chain. This principle implies that authority and responsibility should flow in a clear, unbroken line from the highest executive to the lowest rank. This refers to a hierarchy. A hierarchy consists of a series of steps extending in an unbroken line from the chief librarian to the lowest employee and attendant. This line serves as a means of communication. Authority flows from superior to the subordinates throughout the entire organization. Orders go down along the line traveling from top to bottom. Order. Order refers to the best possible arrangement to achieve the most efficient operation of the organization. As regards movement of materials, it would be economical if order section and cataloging section are located side by side in the case of libraries. As regards employees, a right person must be given a right job most suitable to him. It would be a wrong decision to put an expert classified in the maintenance section. Equity. This principle directs managers to give equal consideration to similar items without considering the differences in format, quality, appearance, qualification, experience, political relationship, financial status, cost, etc. If the managers show any bias, it will bring bad result. In the case libraries, there will be a number of employees with differences in qualification, experience, etc. Librarian is not supposed to show any sort of bias. Stability of tenure of personnel. This principle is highly related with the employees of an organization. In order to work hard, each employee should be mentally free from any risk that may happen in the future. One of the problems that always affect the mental position of an employee is that security of the job. According to this principle, every organization should offer a job security to all important workers who are necessary for the function of that organization. Initiative. Initiative is one of the principles used to improve the productivity of employees through giving awards, promotions, and other types of benefits for his increased work. The best work of an employee can be assessed only when the work he is doing can be measured. Libraries are concerned as service organizations, and most of the services can't be measured in precise terms. The quality of the service depends upon the satisfaction of the users. Esprit de corps. It is an important principle to organization where a teamwork is necessary for the completion of organization objectives. Through developing team spirit, we can bring specialization, reduction of the time, labor, material, money, etc. required for the completion of a group work. The non-cooperation of an employee who is a part of a teamwork will surely affect the completion of the work. In the case of libraries, there are different teamworks like the works on documents like selection, acquisition, classification, cataloging, labeling, etc. The works of documentation, periodical works, bibliography compilation, indexing, abstracting, etc. If one person fails to complete his work in time, it will affect the completion of the whole work. A team can be developed only when the employees get a chance to come together and discuss their problems. So, it is the duty of the manager to make such situations which allow the employees to come tighter. It may be possible either by conducting regular meetings or permitting the employees to make their own associations or organizations. Elements of management or functions of management. POSCOB. Luther Gulick identified the managerial activities under 7 headings to which they assigned an acronym called POSCOB. This is also known as the functions of management or elements of management. POSCOB stands for the following functions: P for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, C for coordinating, R for reporting, B for budgeting. Let us have a brief description of each of the above. Planning. Planning is fundamentally choosing a particular course of action. According to Henry Fayol, planning is a devising course of action that will enable the organization to meet its goal. Planning is done when there is an alternative course of action is identified. Hence, it involves decision making process. Planning involves the analysis of different methods of attaining the specified goals and choose the one which directs the activities to achieve the objectives in a more efficient manner. Systematic planning involves the following steps: identify the problem which is needed and action, collect all available information regarding the problem, assess the possible alternative solutions and methods to solve the problem, take decision to act, put the decision into action, evaluation of solution of the basis of experience. Planning is considered as the preface of functions of management because it is the first step of every other managerial activities. The process of planning involves certain unique characteristics. Planning involves forecasting. Planning is a complex process. Achievement of goals is hindered by various constraints. Planning involves these constraints and determining various means of minimizing or eliminating these constraints, which is a very complicated task. Constraints may be either predictable or unpredictable. Planning cannot be based on rigid principles. Alternative course of action should be devised according to the situation warrants, which will minimize the risk involved in the planning process. Organizing. Organizing means establishing of a formal structure of authority which is well defined and coordinated towards the attainment of specific objectives. Once the planning process has been completed, then it is followed by the process of organizing. The objectives are achieved by the combined efforts of different specialists belonging to the organization. Pattern of library organization varies from library to library depending upon library objectives, nature of users, type of staff and their attitudes, kinds of documents, finance, building, attitudes of higher authorities, philosophy of librarian, etc. Organizational chart is a tool to help smooth organization, which fixes the responsibility of each individual and creates a sense of belongingness. Sense of belongingness leads to commitment and motivates the employees to take up their responsibilities sincerely. Staffing. Staffing represents the complex process of personnel management. It is the management of human resources of an organization. Human resources are very important resources and the success and failure of an organization depends on the performance of these resources. Main aim of staffing program is to employ efficient employees in adequate number who are capable of fulfilling the objectives of an organization. Necessary environment must be built up so that they feel motivated to put in their best. In addition, philosophy, policies and procedures behind a staffing program must be understood and carried out rather faithfully at all levels of management. Personnel management involves the following steps: human resource planning, recruitment, selection, induction and orientation, training and development, performance appraisal, promotion, transfers and separation. Directing. Directing involves leadership process which can be both formal and informal authority. The performance of the staff is highly influenced by the leadership style which not only directs and guides the subordinates, but it also involves motivating the staff and encourage them to carry out their responsibilities. Decision making is important in directing. It consists of the following steps: finding occasions for making decisions, intelligence activity; finding possible courses of action, design activity; choosing among course of action, choice activity; coordination. Coordination is the synchronization and integration of activities, responsibilities and command control and structures to ensure that the resources of an organization are used most efficiently in pursuit of the specified objectives. Coordination is concerned with interrelating of the various parts of an organization so as to achieve a harmonious operation. There is a need for continuous adjustment of various parts of an organization to each other, whereby all procedures, operations and activities lead to maximum contribution to the organization as whole. Coordination gains more importance in a larger organization. Reporting. Reporting is defined as keeping those to whom the executive is responsible informed as to what is going on, which thus includes keeping himself and his subordinates informed through records, research and inspection. Reporting to the public may be called public relation. In the case of library, this is the formal communication through which the state of affairs of library is reported by the librarian to the top management. Libraries are generally dependent bodies which come under the purview of a super system. Budgeting. Budgeting is an efficient management tool. It is a written statement of revenue and expenditure. There are various methods of budgeting systems, namely line budgeting system, PPBS, and zero-based budgeting. Generally, libraries adopt the traditional line budgeting system, in which the expenditure for each item will be specified. It indicates a comparative statement of 3 years. The amount spent on each item for the previous year, the amount spent in the current year, and the sanctioned budget or proposed budget amount for the coming year will be presented in the statement. Let us summarize. In this session, we have discussed the 14 Principles of Management by Henry Fayol and the Functions of Management by Gulick. The principles of management lying on the theoretical side and which are universally applicable. These are flexible and applicable on all fields of management such as library management, hospital management, college management, company management, etc., etc., whereas the functions of management or POSCOB lies on the practical side of management. Here are some books for you. Principles of Management, written by Prasad L.M., published by Sultan Chand and Sons, New Delhi. Library Administration and Management, written by Krishan Kumar and published by Vikas Publishing House Limited, New Delhi. Management of Library and Information Centers by P.S.G. Kumar, published by B.R. Publishing Corporation, New Delhi. Here are some questions for you. Explain POSCOB. Explain the 14 principles of management. What is the applicability of each principle in the library environment? Thank you for watching this session. We will meet again. Till then, bye.